church family. I wanted to give you some details on our plans for worship this Sunday. We're not meeting physically on campus at Poplar Spring, but we are providing online teaching and will resume our current study through the book of Ruth. We want to take a few moments and clarify and remind you of a few things. First, the content we're providing on Sunday morning is not church. This is not church because we, the people of God, are the church. We have a habit of saying the church is not a building, it's people. And we're seeing that truth before our eyes clearer than ever as we're unable to go to our building. So this is not church, but it's not even a church service or a worship gathering. Our elders want to make it super clear that this is not a substitute for the incalculable graces that God gives us as we physically come together for worship. As elders, we're living with a strange tension, and we want you to feel that tension as well. On the one hand, we have a duty to shepherd you, and we feel it would be unwise to let weeks go by without feeding you God's word. Weeks go by where we as a body are not meditating on God's word together. On the other hand, in God's good providence, we're not able to be together, and so we trust that even in this time, God is teaching us something. Part of what he's teaching us is experiential. We should feel a longing to be together. We should miss one another. We should long to be together. Those feelings are good, and those feelings are right. To that end, there's nothing that we could do through an online church service that's going to provide all of the things that God provides for us when we come together. Pastor Mark Dever said in a podcast just a few days ago as it relates to this subject, don't slake your thirst for God's best with a cheap substitute. There's so much truth in that statement. The thirst that we feel for fellowship, for togetherness, for communion, for corporate singing, that thirst is a grace to us. We don't want to rob you of that grace. Technology is great, and we should be thankful for it during this time in our nation and in our world. But it can't provide an adequate substitute for gathering together. Let's allow ourselves to mourn what is missing, namely the presence of our brothers and sisters. So we're going to offer teaching from God's word that you can utilize as households, but it's not the church, and it's not the worship gathering. We are together in God's word, but we should long to be together in fellowship. Second, as it relates to this idea, we want to provide another resource to you at this time that we believe will benefit you. For as long as we're not able to be together, there will be a page on our website, our church website, with resources for doing family worship in your living room. There will be a link at the bottom of this post that you can link directly to our website. On that page, you'll find a teaching video. That would be what would sort of be our normal sermon series, in this case through the book of Ruth. Watch that video together or with a few friends. And also on that page, you'll find some recommended worship songs to sing as a family or in your living room with a few folks that are gathered. We'll provide links to those songs to YouTube so that you don't have to sing a cappella. That's really good news for those of us that are vocally challenged. Finally, we also want to provide on that page on our website some discussion questions that you can utilize at the end of the teaching time. These are vital to us as we're unable to meet for Sunday school or growth group at this time. These questions will help you to apply God's word to your lives and facilitate discussion within your families. If you live alone, use these questions to meditate on God's word. If you have a spouse, ask these questions to one another. If you have kids or friends in the home, ask these questions out loud and let it facilitate good conversation in your home. Finally, church family, we want to give you one final reminder. We must continue to be faithful to give during this time. Part of our worship unto God is trusting him with our finances. For some, that might be more difficult than ever at this point in our lives. But we should worship God as we joyfully give back to him from what he's stewarded to us. If you're already on our church website, then you can easily give by going over to the Give tab. That's available to you so that you can give electronically through our website. You can also still write a check and mail it to the church, and it'll get to our church account and treasurer. Let's continue to be faithful at this time to give, even when we're not doing it together in corporate worship. I love you, church family, and I pray that this time of absence will only make our hearts grow fonder toward one another and that we'll long to be together again soon. Let's go and be the church.